He's articulated in all things related to science, while his MBA in marketing equips him with business acumen. His association with Nikken began decades ago when he met the founder and felt a profound connection. As a product consultant, Dave has been instrumental in the research and development of many cutting-edge Nikken products. His knowledge on the benefits that Nikken products bring to the pursuit of active wellness is unparalleled. As the owner of a biomedical technology company for many years, more than 3 decades, David is also an entrepreneur. Please welcome Dave Balzer.
Thank you very much, Ruben. Appreciate it. I'm setting my timer so I don't go over my time like I always do, and I'll try to stay within my constraints. It's very difficult, and it's going to be much more of a challenge tonight because of this, what I think is a groundbreaking technology and product set that we're going to be introducing. It's been a long time coming, and there's been a lot of work and a lot of thought, a lot of creativity put into it. But we now have the Kenko Precision set, which is a pair of massaging devices, a pair of instruments, if you will, that combine a lot of the Nikken technologies. And I'm going to talk about it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do a short PowerPoint presentation, and then we'll take a look at the product itself, and I'll see if I can do a little demo. So let's start with introducing the Kenko Precision. You can see the boxes open there, and you can see the sphere and the wand. Okay, Ruben, next one. Ruben. Thank you, Ruben. Each Kenko Precision set includes the sphere, the precision sphere with a 2,500 Gauss plated neodymium magnet, 2 of them actually, ceramic reflective tourmaline resin inserts in the sphere itself, and a silicone cup that when it's actually mixed, when the silicone is actually mixed, it has a negative ion and ceramic reflective elements in it as well. The Precision wand has a 1,500 Gauss neodymium magnet in the tip, which is plated, and a sleeve, or if you will, a holder that is also ceramic reflective and has negative ions in it as well, again, cast into the silicone that makes up the sleeve. There are 2 ground connecting coiled cables that come with each set. One of them is very, very innovative. It actually plugs into a USB port, like on my computer here, and has a LED blue indicator light at the point of insertion at the USB, which blinks when the ground circuit, the ground pathway is complete. So it's really a nice visual feedback to know that you are being as effective as you possibly can be in applying the wand or applying the sphere. There's also a wall outlet which plugs into the third prong on a grounded outlet that's on the wall for your convenience. If you don't want to use the USB, or you're concerned about the grounding in the portable item or the computer that you're using. So there's 2 options. You get both, and either the sphere or the wand can be used with either of the coiled connecting cables. Next one, Ruben. Okay, here are the technologies that we've put into these products. Grounding, you saw in the video, a beneficial reconnection with Earth for balanced energy. It's an interesting phenomenon. When I first started down this path, didn't know much about earthing, didn't know much about grounding. I was ignorant, and I needed to educate myself, which I did. And I have to tell you, my eyes were opened, and there is a whole burgeoning amount of research, hardcore research that's going on regarding earthing and grounding that I'll talk about in a little bit. But it's real, it's beneficial, and we've been able to incorporate it into these products. Also, obviously, we're Nikken, so we're going to use magnetic flux energy. We have 2 2,500 Gauss magnets in the sphere and a 1,500 Gauss magnet in the wand. I talked about the ceramic reflective coating, ceramic reflective elements that are in the silicone and also in 2 inserts in the sphere. And we also have tourmaline resin that gives off, we say electrons here. I prefer to think of it as negative ions, but either way, it's modalities that are good for us and that are all put together as an amalgam in both of these devices. Next one. All right, here are the claims. Here are the benefits that we can make. This is what we can state about the precision set, either the wand or the sphere. Grounding massage uses natural modalities to help relieve stress and maintain overall wellness. Number 1, they stimulate local blood flow. Yes, we can say that. Number 2, they reduce muscle tension and discomfort. Yes, we can say that. Number 3, they reduce stiffness and fatigue. And lastly, they produce an overall sense of wellness and relaxation. Next one, Ruben. All right. Both massagers found in the precision set have been listed by the Food and Drug Administration as massagers therapeutic manual. This doesn't mean you can run out there and start making all kinds of medical claims. The benefits and the claims that I just went over in the slide before, that's what we can claim. That's what we can talk about. Next one, Ruben. All right, let's start off by talking about why grounding is important. What happens? Well, our bodies are capacitors. Capacitors are elements that store electric charge. So, you see in circuits, you'll see that you have resistors, you have transistors, and you have capacitors, which are these little components that actually store electric charge and discharge it when necessary. Our bodies are capacitors. We store electric charge. Prove it to yourself. On a cold, dry day in the winter, walk across the carpet. You're going to build up a charge in this capacitive body, in this body that we know will store charge. And when you touch the light socket, you get a zap. The other day, I walked across the carpet and I leaned down to give my wife a kiss, and our noses touched first, and the tips of our noses zapped because we were charged. And I don't know whether I was the spark or she was the spark, but either way, we zapped. Grounding provides a path for the charge in our bodies, which can be detrimental, to flow out and back into the earth, and of course offers a connection to earth itself. So there's a reciprocal connection going on. Next one, Ruben. All right, and now this is some of the research that I've done. I give it to you in order to let you know kind of the way that I wended myself down to try to educate myself and learn about earthing and learn about grounding. And these are just a few of the citations that I went to. I started by Googling, and you can use Bing, you can use whatever search engine you want. The National Center for Biotechnology Information, NCBI, otherwise known as PubMed. And 3 of the research papers that I'd like to cite here, I think, well, they were important for me, and I really enjoyed reading them, and I think that you might as well. But I encourage you to go to Google and put in PubMed or NCBI and grounding and earthing, and go and find literature references on your own, and feed your brain and learn about earthing. The first one is from the Journal of Inflammation Research, 2015. Citation, multidisciplinary research, earthing produces quote unquote intriguing effects on our physiology and our health relating to inflammation and immune response. Next one I liked was the Journal of Environmental Public Health from 2012, and it reviews quote, a highly positive and overlooked impact of direct contact with energies associated with the surface of the earth. Suggests earthing can create stable internal bioelectrical environment. And then the last one from Explorer is kind of cute. I liked it because it tells us there are 2 basic ways of earthing. Number 1, spend time barefoot outside, obvious. Or number 2, indoors, it's now possible to connect to conductive mats. Well, we know that. Pads, body bands, patches, and now the precision set massagers. Next one, Ruben. I popped this one back up. As a kind of reminder, as a kind of a way to say, look, these are the claims. These are the benefits that we can say the precision set can offer to you. Yes, I mentioned inflammation and I mentioned immune response in the slide before where I was talking about the citations. That's food for thought. That's food for your edification. But what we can say and the benefits that we can claim about the precision set are grounding massage uses natural modalities to help relieve stress and maintain overall wellness. That's the overall broad picture of it. Stimulates local blood flow, reduce muscle tension and discomfort, reduce stiffness and fatigue, and produce overall sense of wellness and relaxation. And it's important to stick to these benefits and stick to these claims because they fall under the umbrella of a therapeutic massage manual device that is regulated by the FDA and that we're listed with the FDA. Okay, next one. All right, so let's talk about the precision set itself. Let's take a look at it. Here's how the grounding happens. There's a USB ground connecting coiled cable. It plugs directly into a USB connector in a grounded system. This can be a computer, a laptop, etc. And you want to make sure, and the video was very nice, and the video was very succinct in that it showed a 3-pronged plug that's driving the AC adapter for the laptop or for the unit that you're plugging in the USB port. The LED indicates grounding connects to either massaging device. And it's really cool because when you plug it into the USB and you hook it up to the wand or you hook it up to the sphere, every time you touch a contact area, every time you complete that grounding pathway, the LED lights up. It lets you know that that electrons are flowing. It lets you know that you're expelling this charge from your body back to the earth, and you're communicating with the earth via this pathway. And then the other one is a wall outlet ground connector, and this is just a plug that goes into the grounding connector on the wall, and it's either or. They're both as efficacious. You can use either one. You want to make sure that the outlet is grounded before you connect it to it. And sometimes our wall outlets aren't up to snuff. Sometimes they're not wired properly, or sometimes there's just a loose wire that you don't know. And what I recommend, and I think everybody's talked about these, hopefully you can see this. This is a very inexpensive testing device. It's not battery operated. It's not going to wear out. In fact, this one's ancient. I bought it many, many years ago and have had it for, I'm going to say, decades. I bought it, and I'll tell you, one way you can tell it's old is because I bought it at Sears. But you can get these online. You can get these at hardware stores. You can get these at Home Depot. They're a couple of bucks a piece. You plug them. There's 3 prongs here. You plug them into the outlet. It not only tells you if the ground is good, but it also tells you that your neutral's good and your hot line is good. So that's a really easy way for you to go around. And it's not a bad idea to go around your house and make sure that your outlets are doing what you think they're doing. All right, next one, Ruben. Okay, this is using the precision sphere. Well, you connect the coil cord of your choice. If you want to plug it into the grounded outlet, fine, or the USB, whatever you choose. And the connection actually screws in. It actually screws together. We think of applying the sphere for larger, flatter areas like the calf, like the bicep, like the hamstring, etc. And I'll tell you, I used it the other day because I slept wrong, and this part of back of my neck, kind of like was in the film, had a crook, and when I moved the wrong way, I could feel it. And so I took out the sphere, I hooked it up to the ground, and I massaged. I rolled it on the back of my neck here, and it was fabulous. And I'm not being hyperbolic here. I think it was it just did a fantastic job for me. Apply comfortable amount of pressure. Don't jam it down. You don't have to ram it into your tissue, but you should use firm pressure and continue massaging until feeling the desired relief. And people have asked me, okay, how long do you use it? How long can you massage? We say 10 minutes, give it a rest, and then go ahead for another 10 minutes. And how many times can you do that? There's really no limit. You can just do it. Okay, next one, Ruben. All right, this is talking about the wand. Again, this is how to use it. Connect it to the coil, one of the coil cords, the grounded coil cords. Make sure it's grounded. The wand is designed for small, deep, or more precise locations or areas of interest, such as your elbow joint, your hands, your toes, etc. Continue massaging until you reach the desired effect. And this one's pointed. And again, you should press it into the tissue, but not uncomfortably. That's what the asterisk is saying here. Apply a comfortable pressure as needed. Again, move it around, do 5 minutes, 10 minutes, give it a rest, and come back to it if you want. Okay, Ruben, next one. Yeah, some people say, we've been asked, okay, well, are you going to give us how are we? Well, we don't want to tell people that they can treat specific ailments or they can treat specific medical anomalies using these. Again, we're going to stick to the benefits that have been enumerated already, but how should I massage? Where should I massage? And you can go online, again, Google, and you can Google massage therapeutic charts. Very simple. Massage therapeutic charts, and you will get many charts that look something like this. And you can allow them to be your guide or to be your customer's guide in applying the device and in using the device. Again, we don't want to claim we don't want to make health claims. We don't want to say any specific ailment or specific problem, but let the charts be your guide and go from there. Next one, please. Okay, these are the cautions, and I saw it's a little distracting because the way this Zoom is set up, when people have questions, a little balloon pops up at the bottom and it asks their questions, and I sometimes get distracted. But one of the questions that popped up since I've been speaking is, what about somebody with a pacemaker? And these are the caveats. These are the cautions. When using electronic device such as a pacemaker or magnetically sensitive implant, you need to be cautious. You need to find out if that pacemaker is going to be impacted by a neodymium magnet 2500 Gauss, which is fairly powerful. And be careful. Make sure the doctor knows what you're doing and make sure you know what you're doing. Number 2, don't use in the first trimester of pregnancy. This is on all of our magnetic devices, and it's kind of a standard warning. And again, ask the obstetrician, find out if it's going to be okay or not. Always consult with a physician before using magnetic products. And then medications used to thin blood, regulate blood sugar, control blood pressure, or thyroid activity, you should consult with your doctor before use. Okay, next one, Ruben. So let me give you the summary. The grounding massage set, the Kenko Precision set contains the sphere, 2500 Gauss magnets, neodymium magnets, the silicone sleeve, tourmaline resin inserts next to the magnets, and then the precision wand has a 1500 Gauss magnet, neodymium in the tip, and it's plated and has a ceramic reflective handle. All right, next one. What do we got, Ruben? Okay, let me give you the basic summary here. Unique proprietary magnetic grounding massagers can be used separately or together, assist in helping to provide overall wellness and relaxation based on the principles of massage and grounding, allowing application to virtually every outer part of the body. Kenko Precision set for active wellness. And that's another point that came up when I did my presentation last night. Someone said, or if this is for self-application, what about the parts you can't reach? Well, this was actually designed with self-application in mind and self-care in mind. And there's really only one area that you can't reach, and that's kind of the upper middle of your back. And one of the ways that the sphere can be used to effectively massage that is to place it on a kind of a pliant or a spongy yoga mat, and then lie down over it and roll around on the areas that need to be massaged. Next one, please. Okay, it's not time for Q&A. It's time for me to show you I'm so anxious to get this thing open. Here we go. You want me to pull this down a little bit, Ruben? Does that work? Here we go. And I've got to go backwards here, so forgive my lack of acumen here in displaying these kinds of things. It is a box, a sleeve made out of recycled and materials and is recyclable. Look at this beautiful box. Look at it. It's got a magnetic closure here. Who'd have thought of that? And then you can see the device, how it's packaged inside. You can see the sphere and the wand. And then underneath, you can see, I'm going to pull it out. Here's the sphere. Here's the wand. And these are the two coil cords. This one obviously is the one that you plug into the wall outlet, to the ground in the wall outlet. I'm going to do right now because I'm going to use it for something in a little bit. And put this aside. So what have we got? I need my other ground. This is the other coil cord, the one that I've been talking about that fits into the USB. You can see this is the USB connector here, and you can see this transparent area here that actually contains the blue LED that flashes when you've completed that ground path circuit. And I'm actually going to plug that in. I'm going to do something tonight that I did not do last night when I did my first presentation, Ruben. I'm going to hook this up. So this is how, this is what the wand looks like. Beacon emblazoned right there. This is what the tip looks like. And I think you can see the neodymium magnet protruding at the top with the plating, so that in order for me to apply it to my hand, apply it to my knuckles, and the blue light is flashing every time I touch it. Now my laptop is connected to a 3-prong AC adapter. So I know I have a good ground going to the wall, and you should make sure that you do that as well. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a cue from a demonstration that I saw on, this is from a video that's posted. You can YouTube search it, called Test Your Body Voltage. Just go to YouTube, put in Test Your Body Voltage, and it'll walk you through this whole thing where we're using a multimeter. And I haven't tried this with the camera, so I'm hoping you'll be able to see this. Turning on the multimeter, and you can see it's saying about, can you read that display, Ruben? Yeah, there you go. It says about
344.
3.344. So it's about 1/3 of a volt. Okay? And that's the quiescence. Well, why does it read anything, Dave? Well, because I haven't connected this to anything yet. Why does it read anything? Well, it reads the 0.344 around, we'll call it 1/3 of a volt, because that's the ambient energy that's in the air. I got a lot of electronic devices on. I got a lot of lights on. I got fluorescents on. I got electronics in front of me. So that's the quiescent state. That's what the voltages are going to look like in the room. Now I'm going to do something crazy. I'm going to attach it to because I don't have enough hands. I'm attaching it to my wedding ring because it's gold and it's conductive, and it's going to show you what my body voltage is. In this case, it's 1.275 volts, or it's nearly a volt more than what it was when it was disconnected. Now I've got my wand and I'm connected to my USB ground here, and I'm going to just tap my forehead. And what's going to happen? Boom! There goes the voltage. There goes my body voltage. There goes my capacitive voltage. It's going down to it'll work its way down to the 0.3. And if I take it away, boom, I charge back up. So I touch it, boom, and I take it away, boom. And I look down now and I see somebody says, how long are the cords? The coil cords, when stretched fully, are a yard. It's almost a meter. So let's call it it's a little bit more than a yard. So let me show you, I've shown you the wand. Let me show you the sphere. Again, this is a beautifully crafted silicon cup that has an incredibly good feel to it. Not only is it, does it have a good sense, a good feel of value, but it feels good in your hand. and I'm going to connect that to my USB ground right now. These actually screw in, which is nice because then you don't have to worry about a plug popping out or a clip coming off. And here we go. I've got this, and here's the sphere. Can we see this? There is the silver disc right there is one of the magnets. Here we go. And it's again 2500 Gauss neodymium. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to sell the wand short. I should have done this as well. See if I can get it to go. There we go. These are powerful magnets. These are powerful neodymiums. So there's a neodymium magnet here on the sphere at the North Pole, and then there's one directly beneath it on the South Pole. And then if we go to the equator, there's a tourmaline insert on either side. So that when you rotate this, you're not only getting exposure to the neodymium magnets, but you're also getting exposure to that tourmaline insert, which gives you the ceramic reflective energy. Okay? Very cool. And again, my neck is bothering me a little bit, but I'm grounded. Ah, nice. Very nice. And it's very solid. It's a question of, does the product, do the products have a feel of perceived value? And they really do. They're really made well. They really feel good. And from my perspective, my experience, they really work. So, all right, Ruben, I'm way out of time. I'm way over. I set my buzzer to go off, and then I terminated it with 30 seconds left, and that was about 5 minutes ago. So I can't really say enough about the amount of creative thought that went into the design of this. I'm not taking credit for it. It was done by a team of people. I did have some input, so I feel like I did contribute to the product in some small way, and it's just my joy and honor to be able to announce it. I mean, to me, groundbreaking is overused, but I think groundbreaking is applicable in this case. All right, Ruben, I'll be quiet.
Thank you very much, Dave. So let's see, do we have time for 5 minutes Q&As?
You know, Ruben, did you realize what happened to us last night?
I know.
It was phenomenal. We did the VIP presentation, and what I did was I had a series of questions, a set of questions that were put together from our field testers, and we compiled them and said, okay, let me go ahead and try to answer those questions. And I went through all of them, and at the end of that, there was a whole line of people who were participating in our presentation, who were viewing it, who had questions, and we answered every one. We went right down the line. We answered every. I said to myself, well, this is going on and on, but who can I cut off? I'm not cutting anybody off. And one of the things that I'll say before we do the questions, Ruben, Vance Rogers was on. Vance Rogers came on with a question, and he asked me. He said, "Well, Dave, how do you compare the precision set with the grounding pad?" And I said, okay, both are grounding, but the grounding pad is random. You're lying down on it, and whatever part of your body that's going to make contact with it touches it and gets grounded. And it's about emptying the capacitor. It's about emptying the charge from the body. This is called the precision set for a reason. It is the grounding is occurring at precise points, whether that's with the wand, which of course is the ultra focused precision part of the grounding, or with the sphere. The contact point, the tangent, the contact point of the sphere when you're massaging it, that's actually the precise area that's having the flow of electrons from your capacitive body. Who cares? We care because that the flow out of that particular point, when the electrons leave, and go to Earth and go to the ground, they're actually coming through that contact point, which has a stimulating effect. So it's really quite amazing. Does that make sense, Ruben? Julie, nod. Julie.
Makes sense.
Does it make sense? And Julie, I don't know how, but when I watched that video, I said, they managed to find a narrator whose voice sounded amazingly like Julie. Okay, you want to do a few questions, Ruben? You're the boss.
Let's just do a few questions.
All right.
Did you get a chance to see the chat? I know it's kind of small, but
No, I can't. There's no way. First of all, I have to spit out my gum because I can't. So if you ask me to focus on the PowerPoints, try to talk sensibly, and look at the chats popping up all the time too. I can't do it. It's just can't. I mean, it's different than. It's different than. It's not a teleprompter. These are questions that are popping up, and somebody said something about how do we tell whether the ground is good or not, and what should we buy. So let's go. Let's do a few questions now. And
yes. So
do you want me to read the questions? You want me to read the questions like I did last night?
No.
No. Okay. Good. Let's get live ones. Who's there?
Gloria Snyder.
Gloria Snyder. Softball, Gloria. Softball.
Yes, softball. Thank you again for last night and tonight. It was wonderful. I know last night you said to have it on the skin, not through clothing.
Right.
And yet in the video, the guy does go from his neck down to his shirt. So that may be misleading, but I'm thinking that the grounding doesn't work at that point, but the magnet does. Is
Absolutely
that correct?
true.
Okay.
That is a very good point.
Okay.
Yes, if you're going to try to go through clothing, and I said this last night, those 2,500 Gauss and the 1,500 Gauss neodymium magnets, people have asked, well, what's the depth of penetration? And it's measurable, but the depth of penetration and the ability to penetrate clothing and tissue for a magnet it goes right through. Unless it's lead, it's going through. But you're absolutely right. So if I wanted to massage my shoulder over here and I didn't want to take off my shirt and my t-shirt, I could certainly use the sphere or the wand and press and move it and massage it in that manner. But I'm not going to get the grounding. It's got to be electrical contact. Okay. Okay.
Thanks.
Next one.
So we have Carol.
Carol Cosby. My bad. You got to unmute.
You are.
Click on the microphone in the lower left. There you go.
Hi, you can see me. You can see me tonight.
I can see you tonight.
Yeah, you couldn't see me yesterday.
I can hear you tonight, and I'm ready for a wonderful question that I can handle.
I'm quite sure you can handle it. I just need clarity. If we check an outlet with the grounding tool,
This guy?
yes,
Okay.
and it shows the outlet is not grounded.
Yes.
If we plug in a 3-prong power strip or an extension cord,
Not grounded.
okay,
It's not grounded.
I didn't think so.
You have to start. In fact, I got a whole bunch of stuff over here plugged in, and I've got an extension cord, a 3-prong extension cord, and I had to check the wall to make sure that with one of these to make sure that it was grounded before. And if it's not grounded at the wall, then any extension cord plugged into it isn't going to be grounded, and nothing plugged into it's going to be grounded. Okay.
Right. Thank you.
Is that it? That was great.
Barb Joseph.
Barbara.
Hi there, nice to see you.
Good to see you.
Thank you. So my question is, yes, the wall socket is grounded. Can one plug in a power strip and use the power strip instead of the wall socket because there may not be enough room at the wall socket?
That's what I'm using now. When I showed the demo with the multimeter,
Oh, yeah.
of the voltage. My coil cord is actually plugged into an extension cord that's 3-prong sockets plugged into the wall. So absolutely yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
because
Yes.
in the video it showed that, but I was under the impression that you couldn't do that with the grounding mat. It had to be in the wall. So that's false.
That's false.
Thank you.
Gee, I don't know if I'm stepping on toes, but physics is physics.
Perfect. Thank you.
Next one. Who's next? Ruben.
Doris.
You're the man.
Doris.
Doris Lorden. Hi, Doris.
Hi. Couple of questions. Does it eventually wear out? So it only lasts 2, 3, 4 years, something like that? And what about oil from the body, like on the wand, not the wand, but on the sphere, especially if you're using this on somebody and they have oily skin? Is there a way to clean it? Does it need to be cleaned or what?
Yeah, I would say, it would be remiss of me to say, no, it never needs to be cleaned. Of course it needs to be cleaned, particularly if you're going to use it on yourself and then use it on, say, that handsome gentleman sitting next to you. And you might want to clean it. You might want to clean it in between. And we say to use lukewarm water with a little bit of dish soap in it, like Palmolive or Dawn, or I'm sure there are hundreds of them, but a little bit of that, and that will clean it. It won't hurt the chromed parts, and it'll sterilize it to a certain extent. Soaps are very, very good at taking care of bacteria and other kinds of microbes. So that's the way you clean it. Don't use solvents. Don't use alcohol. And how long will it last? I think these are really, really well made and really, really well designed. There are really no parts to wear out. The sphere rotates in the silicone cup, but I can't imagine that you could wear it out. And the same for the wand. The wand is essentially like a pen. Although, I just watched the 20-year reunion of Harry Potter when I was picking up this wand, and I wondered if I could cast out a spell. Anyway, it's going to be, of course, you've got a USB connector and you got a coil cord, and if you stretch those guys, I think those are the weak links. There's got to be a weak link. It's not in the device themselves. It's not in the sphere or the wand, but you've got connectors. Eventually, with enough use, there's something going to wear out. But I would venture to say, and I can say with a certain confidence, that if you've used it enough to wear it out, you'll be more than happy with the value.
Yeah, right. And then, real quick, I assume we can't, like with any magnets, we can't use it on our eyes.
I never do. I always tell people to stay away from the eyes.
Right.
I just think that's the prudent thing to do.
Right.
Okay?
No.
Kimball.
All right.
Kimball.
Microphone.
Okay.
There we go.
Okay, so if we use a multi-plug that has a longer cord, because I've got a number of those, that would really take care of the issue of how long that cord is and not having to stretch it too much, correct?
Absolutely. And I got to tell you, the length of the cord and the reason we coiled it, when we first were experimenting with the cord and we had it, say, length of 2.5, 3 feet, and it was just a wire, an insulated wire, and it wasn't coiled, man, it was a bunch of spaghetti. And we said, this isn't going to work. We have to do something here to make it more user-friendly so people don't get all tangled up. And that's why we coiled the cord. And then I would tell people, be a little bit careful. If you overstretch the cord, not going to break it, it's still going to work, but it's going to get fatigued. It's going to start sagging. Remember back when we used to have phones that were not cordless, and we had to pick up the receiver and there was a coil cord. And after a while, if you were too rough on it or you stretched it out too many times, it didn't look so good. So be a little careful with it. It's not going to break, but if you try to overstretch it, it's gonna set because the wire has memory, But other than that, no, you're fine.
Well, I mean, it just seems like using I love the multi-plugs that have a long cord.
Me too.
Use that, and then you've just taken care of that cord.
Me too. I agree. I agree.
Thank you, Kimball. So there is a question here, Dave.
Mm-hmm.
It says, will it harm the precision if you plug it into one that isn't really grounded outlet?
No. There's no there are no active electrical elements in this. We're taking a conductive surface, whether it's the tip of the wand or the surface of the sphere, and allowing the charge from your body, allowing the electrons from your body to flow out the wire. If it's got nowhere to go, if it's got no pathway to go, doesn't kind of hurt anything. It's just not going to be effective.
Excellent.
Okay.
Then last question, Dave says, when I use the wand, it feels as if energy is leaving my body. Can you explain that?
Because energy is leaving your body.
Right.
As you could see by the meter, and Julie, how did that meter look? Could you see that okay? Yeah. All right. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
I tried to recreate what was demoed before.
Yes.
And again, go to, if you want to know, go to YouTube and in the Boolean window, search for test your body voltage, and they'll show you step by step how to set it up so that you can see exactly what your voltage is. And then, of course, if you use one of the precision set massagers, you properly grounded the wand or the sphere, show what your body voltage is, and then touch with the wand or touch with the sphere, and you will see that voltage just drop down to baseline. Okay?
Excellent. Well done, Dave. So thank you very much. And then if you have any other questions, so you can send those questions to contact@nikken.com.
Yeah.
And we will help you that way as well.
Yeah, please send them in, because what we're doing is we're compiling them into an FAQ that will be available for customer service to answer your questions, and that will be posted, I don't know where, Ruben's office.
Yeah, it will be in the website, so available for everyone. So
Okay. Thanks again for inviting me. I appreciate it. Oh, someone's asking, Cynthia Beck, to everyone, how far away from the eye can you use this? I would stay around the orbits of the eye. You can feel that. You can feel the bony orbit, which protects your eye from being banged with a golf ball or something like that. Stay around outside that area, and you're good to go.
great.
Okay.
Amazing, Dave. Thank you very much.
Thank you guys for inviting me. Appreciate it.
Thank
Good to see you.
And let's continue with our kickoff call.